Welcome to the Texas Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Matt, and I will be your facilitator. Just a few housekeeping items before we get started. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so please be sure to check out the schedule on the website. The presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Texas. And now I'd like to turn things over to our first institution, Bradley University.
Guys, how are you doing? I'm Tony Chandler, and I am your admission counselor at Bradley University, and I'm super happy to be here with you tonight to share a little bit about what makes Bradley so special. Bradley is an independent private university, and we really feel like we've kind of got the best of both worlds at Bradley in that we embody a lot of what makes really big schools kind of cool and what makes really small schools kind of cool, but we put it together in a medium-sized school that really affords our students a ton of opportunities in terms of majors and things to be involved in, opportunities for hands-on experiences, study abroad, and campus involvement. But on a very, very personal level, we know our students, we know what they're there to do, and we're there to help them accomplish it and get the most out of their Bradley experience and going forward. So, here we go. Okay, sorry. So this is a shot of our campus. Basically, our campus is a super walkable campus. It's just gorgeous. Peoria is a really cool city. It is the largest city downstate in Illinois. And it's a very residential campus at Bradley. Both our freshmen and sophomores are living on campus. And the moral of the story is it's awesome because you can roll out of bed about 10 minutes before class, brush your teeth, grab a power bar, and be out the door and be in class in plenty of time. So it's really nice to have that convenient, walkable campus at Bradley. Bradley is made up of 5 different colleges that embody all of our areas of study. Just a side note about this picture, this is our founder, Lydia Moss Bradley. And that's another thing that makes Bradley kind of unique is the fact that we were founded by a woman. There are not many schools out there, especially ones that were founded at the turn of, 1897 that were founded by a woman, but Lydia was a real trendsetter and she had a very specific vision for Bradley. And we feel like we've lived up to that today in terms of hands-on learning and allowing our students to really experience college and not just be lectured to, which I think is really important. Our average class size at Bradley is 17. So again, holding true to that vision of we want our students to have that personal interaction. And 100% of our classes are taught by faculty. You came to Bradley to learn from Dr. Somebody. We're going to give you Dr. Somebody all the time. And it's not unusual to see a class just like this one. This is a business ethics class. An upper level class, it's got 7 or 8 people in it. The professor's just sitting around and they're talking and they're working it through. I learned really well that way. I know a lot of students at Bradley do for sure as well. We're very proud of our real world experiences, and we both require and facilitate 2 real world experiences for at least for our students for graduation. We're big on study abroad, student-led research, internships, leadership opportunities, publishing students. Game design is one of our most popular majors, and those students participate in this huge conference every year called Fuse. And so that's their real world opportunity, but they get to do it more than once, which I think is really, really cool. Of course, student life is a big part of the college experience and what makes Bradley so special. We have over 240 clubs and organizations at Bradley, everything from honor societies to religious student organizations to Greek life to the hammock club. Hammock, yes, I said it. And why not be in the hammock club? It's a gorgeous campus and the weather's awesome, so you might as well be out in the quad laying in a hammock reading your English book, right? Bradley is on the common application. We also take the Bradley application. They are exactly the same, and it is free to apply to Bradley. We are test optional. So most of my students who are applying this year are applying test optional, but if you have an SAT or ACT score that you want to include in that, please feel free to do that. Letters of recommendation are optional, but they're very, very helpful. I encourage you, especially if you're a younger student and have time to secure a great letter of recommendation. I think that's really helpful. It helps us as readers get to know you a little bit better. And we do have a scholarship estimator on our website. I will tell you that 90% of students at Bradley are receiving some type of merit-based scholarship or financial assistance or both. So even though we're a private school, Bradley is extremely affordable. And amongst our peer schools that we directly see a lot of overlap with, Bradley is extremely affordable. We are doing in-person and virtual visits. Right now, it's a great time to visit campus. The weather is so awesome and beautiful. You can come for a normal tour, or you can do a whole program day. It's totally up to you. Whichever, but we just want you to come and visit campus. The good news for Texas students is there are direct flights out of DFW that go straight into Peoria on American, so it's really easy to get to us from wherever you are in Texas. This is my contact information. I hope you will feel free to reach out to me and let me know how I can help. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. Next up is Illinois Wesleyan University.
All right. Oh, clicked the wrong thing. There we go. Present. So hi, my name is Claire. I'm the representative from Illinois Wesleyan. We are a small private liberal arts school. We're located in central Illinois. Actually, our campus is pretty much touching the campus of Illinois State. So one thing that, as you can see on the slide, we always like to say is that we're a campus with small classes, medium campus, and a big college town. What that means is that all of our classes, you're going to kind of have that hands-on, getting to work with the professor a little bit more. They're actually going to know your name. A lot of our classes are discussion-based. And then we have a little bit bigger of a campus, so still very walkable, plenty easy to get around, go from place to place, but you're not, walking down the same pathway every single time. So it's kind of a nice balance. And then we have that big college town with lots of different opportunities, internships, jobs, just like fun student life things going on. We are undergraduate only, so it's nice that all of the courses that you take will be taught by your professor. The only time that there's a TA would be a student that's taken the class before that's there purely just to kind of supplement that and be there as a helper. So, someone to kind of run by with homework questions if you, don't have time to go over to your professor's office, or even just as an extra resource. So as you can see, those class sizes and those lab sizes are definitely a lot smaller. This is an example of what you won't see at Illinois Wesleyan. So we don't have any big lecture halls. No classes at max are larger than 25 students. So here are some pictures from our classes. A lot, like I said, of that kind of hands-on discussion. When it's really nice outside, we'll have classes outside, as you can see in some of those pictures. And it's really just a great way to kind of take advantage of the space we have and really get to use that personal, small experience. Similarly to with Bradley, what they were saying with those kind of, as you're getting into upper level courses, you might even have, 8 or 10 people in a class. And it's really nice. You get to even sometimes go off campus and interact in the community with some courses, depending on what your major is and what you're studying. along with going off campus and kind of getting out into the world, study abroad is a huge part of an Illinois Wesleyan education. 41% of our students will study abroad. We have a lot of different ways that you can do that. We have over 700 different study abroad programs we partner with, as well as 2 programs that are run directly through Wesleyan. So we always have a trip to London in the fall and a trip to Barcelona, Spain in the spring. And then we also have something called May term. And that's like an additional kind of optional 1-month course term that you could take at the end of each year. Again, totally optional. But during that period, we'll also offer May term study abroad experiences that are kind of like a mini condensed way to get abroad. So if you were interested in it, but not fully wanting to commit to a whole semester abroad, that's a great way to kind of say, okay, I'm going to go to this art and architecture class in Greece. And really just hang out in Greece for a month and get to see all the sites, learn about their art and architecture, get a school credit, and then you kind of get to come home and have the rest of your summer. So a nice way to kind of dabble in that. I know I mentioned that we are in that big college town, so there's a lot going on off of campus, but on campus as well, there is so much to do. We have over 120 different student organizations, 9 fraternities and sororities, over 1,000 campus events every year. That includes 31 theater productions, typically 18 gallery exhibits, and 99 different concerts and recitals. You can see some pictures of some different student groups here. We'll do other examples of activities we've done, like TED by Illinois Wesleyan talks. We've had comedians or artists come to campus and perform, just kind of all across the board with academic speakers. So always lots going on, no matter what the day of the week is. And then another great way to either get involved as an athlete or as a spectator is our athletic department. We are Division III, so it's great because, the people that you're watching out on the field are the people that are in, maybe your science class, or, they live down the hall from you, or even it's, your best friend or your roommate. So that's another benefit of that small school kind of feel, as well, as that, you're going and you're cheering for your school, you're cheering for your team. But these are also people that kind of on a deeper level, and that just makes it all the more fun. Or if you're interested in playing a sport, Division III, I'm a little biased because I went here and played a sport, but it's a great way to kind of have that competitive athletics, but also have strong academics, and being able to balance both of those on top of any other additional interests you might have. So, you could come to Wesleyan and play the piano, play on the softball team, have a job on campus, also have a major and a minor, and do some volunteer work and be in a sorority. And that is not an uncommon experience. That's pretty kind of standard for a lot of students. So we call ourselves the yes and university. So you can do, yes, you can do that, and you can do something else. We kind of pride ourselves in having a lot of different support systems available for you around campus. This is just a little kind of diagram showing the various services that are available without reading off all of them. Some that I always like to shout out are campus safety, very present on our campus. They're in the heart of campus. They offer rides called Titan Transport to and from academic buildings or residential buildings all throughout the night up until I think 3:30 in the morning. So if you're studying late and you feel like, you want to get a ride back to your dorm, even though it's only a short walk across the quad, they have students that are driving these vans available to come drive you. Also our career center that helps students when they're, either looking for internships. I think about 80% of our students will do at least one internship, and 30% will do at least 2. You can do them as like credit during the school year or during the summer as like a paid type of job. And then finally, our success, as you can see, we have some pretty high numbers here for all of our students that are graduating, finding a job, or continuing on into a graduate school. And yeah, we accept the common application. We also have our own Illinois Wesleyan app. We are free to apply, and we are also test optional. So interview components have been very popular this year. That's kind of what we sub in for those tests. But yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free. I'll put my information in the chat to reach out, and hope to see an application soon. Thanks.
Thanks very much. Next up is Loyola University Chicago.
Thank you. I am going to share my screen now. I don't know why I always have to announce that. Let's see. Okay. Hi, my name is Angie Alama. I am an admissions counselor with Loyola University Chicago, and we're Loyola Chicago. Usually the first question that comes up whenever I talk about Loyola is, what is the difference between a Jesuit institution or a Jesuit education and a non-Jesuit one? Primary focus at a Jesuit school is a strong liberal arts foundation with emphasis on curiosity, global perspectives, and something we call cura personalis. It's not something we call, it's like a Latin phrase that basically means care of the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. And that lays the foundation for all of our programs and how we prepare our students for the world. We are located, as I mentioned before, obviously in Chicago. We have 2 campuses. You're looking at our Lakeshore campus now. It is located in the residential neighborhood of Rogers Park, and it is home. It's basically our residential campus. That it is where 21 of our 22 dorms are located. We do require students to live on campus their first 2 years and guarantee housing during those 2 years. And it's also home to our largest school, which is our College of Arts and Sciences. And so out of our over 80 majors that we offer, more than half are going to be housed within our College of Arts and Sciences. Now, as far as our university community, we have close to 17,000 students. So we do have the distinction of being the largest Jesuit university in the country and the only one in Chicago. But we're really intentional about keeping our class sizes small. So our average class size is about 26 students. Even with our core classes, we cap that number at about 150 students, and our student to faculty ratio is 41. Now, I mentioned we have over 80 undergraduate majors. We also offer 55 dual degree majors. So you can get both your bachelor's and your master's degree in an accelerated 5 years instead of 6. And we highly encourage students to do that. I'm someone who took 10 years in between my undergrad and grad degree, and I can't promote it enough because life happens after you graduate. So it's nice to knock out 2 degrees in 5 years when you can. We also have the really great study abroad program that really ties into one of those Jesuit tenets of a global perspective. So about a third of our students actually study abroad. We actually have a campus abroad, our John Felice campus in Rome. We also have an international student in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. But if Rome or Ho Chi Minh City are not your jam, then just know you can pretty much travel anywhere at Loyola through our partnerships. We work in over 70 countries with over 150 different programs, and it really does enhance your undergraduate experience. Just talking for a moment about our programs, I mentioned our College of Arts and Sciences is our largest program on our Lakeshore campus. Our Lakeshore campus is also home to our nursing program, as well as environmental science and public health programs, as well as our visual and performing arts programs. Our business school is actually ranked the #1 undergraduate business program in Chicago for 3 years running by US News and World Report. And we're also located in Chicago, which is the 3rd largest business sector in the country. Our School of Communication, home to our film, communication studies, as well as our multimedia journalism program. 3rd largest media giant, or not giant, but sector in the country is Chicago. So our students also have really great job opportunities upon graduation in the city with those degrees. Our nursing program is the first accredited nursing program in the state of Illinois. It also includes 7 different clinical rotations. So our students get lots of work experience. And there's so much more information I can share about our programs, but I don't want to spend too much time on them. If you want more information about them, certainly I will include my contact information in the chat. You can reach out to me directly. Regarding student life, lots of things to do. Our students work hard, so we of course expect them to play hard. So over 250 different student organizations. Greek life is nice on our campus. It's not the overriding principle for activities, though, because about 20% of our students participate in Greek life, 20 different Greek organizations, 13 Division I sports. We are part of the Missouri Valley Conference, and 25 club sports. If you are interested in applying to Loyola Chicago, I actually see one of my students in this session. Hi, Pierce. So I know your application is in. I'm going to be reviewing it soon. But if you have not applied and you're interested, definitely submit your application. It's a free application on the website, on the Common App, on the Coalition app. And we only require 1 letter of recommendation and your transcript through your junior year. And we are test optional for the foreseeable future. So it's entirely up to you whether whether or not you submit test scores. That's test optional for both admission and merit scholarship consideration. And you also have the option to submit an essay or a resume to kind of demonstrate your well-roundedness. We do take a holistic review to the admissions review process at Loyola. So I think that's time. I'm trying to stay on time today. I wasn't so great about it yesterday. But again, if you do have any additional questions, feel free to contact me. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thanks very much. Next up is the University of Nebraska-Lincoln.
Well, welcome everyone. Just a second here, we'll get this shared. My name is Rebecca Heilman. I am the Houston Regional Recruitment Specialist for the University of Nebraska. I cover all of the Houston and San Antonio area, but we do have actually 2 reps up in Dallas. So we're very fortunate that we do have 3 reps here in Texas to help you guys as you guys are making this decision. So we're gonna actually leave Illinois for a little bit. I get to bring you a little bit more west to learn a little bit more about Nebraska. Just a little bit about us. We are a mid-sized university with just under 26,000 students and just over 20,000 undergraduates. So that means that we're going to be right in that mid-size. The University of Nebraska Lincoln is located in downtown Lincoln, Nebraska, which is the capital city. It's not quite the largest, but it definitely is the capital, which does bring a lot of really great traditions that students are able to participate in. What makes our campus unique is that you're within a walking distance of a city of 300,000, so lots to do, but we're right there, that hustle and bustle of the big city, music, art, culture, most importantly, food, but we also get that Midwestern charm. Just over a third of our student population does come from outside of Nebraska. So all 50 states are represented and over 100 countries. We have been rated as one of the top value and safest college campuses in the country, as well as one of the most Instagrammable. So go check out our Instagram. You'll see just exactly how quaint and what a Midwest feel we definitely do have. We do have over 150 different majors spanning across 9 academic colleges on our campus. The big ones that we're going to see from Texas are going to be our College of Engineering, our College of Business, and then our Journalism and Mass Communication. Huddle is actually, you can walk to Huddle from campus, so a lot of students really take advantage of those opportunities that we can have right there in Lincoln. We do have over 500 clubs and organizations, so just anything that you want, you can get involved with if it's serious or if it's those more fun ones. We do have major specific advisors and career coaches, as well as learning communities, which are geared towards your interests. So it's a really great way to get involved on campus, immediately feeling part of that community, not just in the classroom, but outside that classroom as well. We definitely want our students to feel like they are connected, because those connections and friendships are going to be those lasting impressions long after you have that degree and graduate. We are a Big Ten institution, which also does mean that we are a Research 1 institution, and those opportunities are given to our underclassmen as well. And since we are a smaller university, we do have a smaller student body, which means you're going to have smaller class sizes, which is going to really allow you to get to know your professor even starting your freshman year. This can lead to some great opportunities to get involved with research while you're a student, which is also a great networking opportunity once you graduate. So I know a big thing for out-of-state students is always that worry about those scholarships. Nebraska is very generous with our merit out-of-state scholarships. We are test flexible this year, so we will look at your test scores and or your GPA and use what is best for you for those scholarships. That definitely does make it very affordable to go out of state. We do have one of the most affordable tuitions also in the Big Ten. So if you go to that website, you can check out and learn and plug in those numbers and kind of see where those information is going to get you for that money. Our application is open, and like I said, we are test flexible also for admission purposes. So we're going to look at everything that GPA, class rank, and test score for that. We are rolling admissions, so as soon as we have all of your information, we're able to make that decision for you, and you'll get that information usually within 2 weeks of your application being completed. We do have our own website, but we're also on Common App. So if you are doing other applications on there, feel free to take advantage of that. We are doing a free application for Texas students until Monday, November 1st at 11:59, and the code is Husker. So if you have started or are thinking about it, let me know and we can get you in there for free, which is always great. Again, the earlier the apply, the better, just so we can get everything in and then financial aid and really start crunching those numbers. We are open for visits. We are doing in-person visits. They've always been small, but they're even smaller now. So you get those one-on-one conversations with current students, our campus host, but we are doing virtual visits too. If you don't want to make this trip, if you're from the Houston area, it can be about 14 hours to make it up to Lincoln, Dallas, some of those areas, so 8 hours. So it's a pretty big commitment. We are doing those virtual visits. So you can talk to the department and really see, hey, is this a place for me before? So we are doing those. All of those can be found on that website. Like I said, we know that this is kind of a crazy time for everyone. That's what we're here for. I will put my information in there, but if you're from another area in Texas, reach out to me and I will get you connected with one of our other reps. Thank you and go Big Red.
Excellent. Thanks very much. Next up is the University of Illinois, Urbana.
Good evening. My name is Jill Davis, and I am the Texas Regional Representative for the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. I live in the Dallas area, and I serve all of our Texas students, so I will be your point of contact for any questions you have about Illinois. I will make sure you have my contact information. But we'll dive in. So the University of Illinois is the flagship institution in the state of Illinois. We are the large land grant research focused institution. Like I said, we're large, about 33,500 undergraduate students, total population about 55,000. While we're large, we feel like we do a good job of serving our students at our size with a student to faculty ratio of 18 students to 1 professor, and 80% of the courses that we offer having 50 students or less. So it's a very manageable and personable learning environment. We are highly diverse, ranked #1 for most students of color among our Midwestern peer institutions. We have all 50 states on campus as well as 106 countries. So truly students from all walks of life at Illinois. Students come to Illinois for lots of different reasons. I think the main reason we see our out-of-state students seeking out Illinois is for our academic programs. We have over 150 majors across our 11 academic communities. We are best known for engineering first and foremost. The Granger College of Engineering is, of course, the #6 ranked undergraduate program in the nation. We have 15 engineering degrees within Granger, and 10 of them are ranked in the top 10 of their respective categories. So truly some of the most prestigious engineering degrees in the world are found on Illinois' campus. Outside of engineering, business is also well-renowned and highly sought after by our Texas students. It is the #14 ranked undergraduate business program in the nation. We have the #3 ranked accounting program. So business is very strong, very popular with our Texas students. Outside of just engineering and business in particular, I would say things in the STEM field bring Texas students to Illinois. Things like physics, mathematics, statistics, biology, biochemistry, psychology. We have a whole host of specialized computer science programs separate from our regular computer science degree, and all of those tend to be very popular with our Texas students. But we are the #15 ranked undergraduate institution in the nation. So all of our majors are offered at a very high caliber, and you will be seeing a high level of return on investment regardless of what you study with us. We're located in Champaign, Urbana, which is in central Illinois. We're about 2.5 hours or so south of Chicago. Champaign-Urbana is a nice, comfortable college town, only about 175,000 permanent residents. So safe environment, easy to navigate, college town vibe. We're actually classified as a micro-urban environment because we have all of the amenities of big city life. So entertainment and shopping and eating and internship opportunities and job opportunities, but we are in that nice, comfortable, small town feel. Our students are highly involved outside of the classroom. We have over 1,800 student organizations and clubs, so more than 1,800 clubs that you can join based on your passions. We have everything from Greek life and academic organizations to leadership and philanthropic organizations, religious, political, you name it, we have it. We also have the super unique and fun ways to get involved. We have the Dipping Things in Chocolate Club. We have the Falling Illini, which is our skydiving club. We have the October Lovers Club. So if this time of year is your favorite time of year, there's a whole bunch of students on our campus who feel the same. We have an underwater hockey club, and they really do play hockey underwater. So if that's your thing, you can do it. This is my favorite part about Illinois, is that while we are large, academically focused, tier 1 research, highly competitive, it's easy for students to find their people, their place, and their home within the larger Illinois community. In terms of involvement in the more serious realms, our students are highly involved in internships, research, and study abroad. These statistics do reflect sort of a post-COVID world, if you will, that our students had to be a little bit less involved over the past couple of years because of COVID limitations, but across all of our disciplines, 73% of our students are participating in internships, 40% of all of our students are doing research, and about 26% of our students study abroad. We work really hard to make sure that you have the best connections when you come to Illinois. We are bringing annually about 9,700 unique employers to our campus, including about 86 of the Fortune 100 companies and about 45 of the Global 100 companies. Here you'll see just a brief list of some of our top employers recruiting students on our campus. This is not by any means exhaustive, but does give you just a brief snapshot of some of the ways that students are getting recruited by top employers. I just wanted to leave you guys with my contact information. Again, I'm the Texas Regional Representative. I live in Texas and I serve all of our Texas students. I'll throw this in the chat as well, but if you have any questions about Illinois or life moving forward, please feel free to reach out to me. And thank you so much for joining this evening.
Excellent. Thank you all so much. So that wraps up our presentations. We have some time for Q&A before we conclude this session. And so I'd invite all of our presenters to join me back on camera and respond to this question. What advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And I'll ask our panelists to respond in the same order that they presented. So Tony, you're up first.
Okay. I would say to keep an open mind and really think about what's important to you, because what's important to you may be different than what's important to your brother or your best friend or whatever. But, when schools pop up and you're like, that sounds like exactly what I want, but I never thought about this school. Well, that's okay, because you've got time to investigate and really check it out. So keeping that open mind is a good thing.
I would definitely say to visit, like seeing yourself on campus, getting that feel for the campus. If you can imagine yourself there, I think that's also a great way to discern if you want a city school, a small school, a college town school, like what kind of feel you're going for. But just even like meeting the people and walking around, I think can be hugely important, and kind of seeing if you feel like you fit there.
My biggest piece of advice is to use your local resources. Definitely reach out to us. We are some of those resources, but I said last night that so many times I'm on high school campuses and the counselor is like, I actually told them the exact same thing you told them and they don't listen to me. And so I'm like, definitely, put some merit behind your high school counselor's advice, as well as your parents who have been, in some cases, have been to college before you, your older siblings. Definitely reach out to us, because obviously we're the experts in applying to our specific schools and higher ed in general, but don't discount those other people either, because they have an advantage over us. They know you personally too. So definitely consider your local resources as well.
I would say don't be afraid to look outside of what is normal, whether that be normal for your family, friends, everyone at school. There are so many schools. I mean, there's 5 of us here tonight, and we're just a drop in the bucket. And so really look outside, because you'll never know what you'll be able to find.
I think in a time when there's a lot of virtual resources available, of course, visiting in person if you can, visiting us virtually, but also connect with us on social media. We work really hard to make sure that there's like cool and engaging content for you guys. I think it can be a great way to see a different side of a university, especially those of us who have the ability to have current students do like takeovers and things like that. So connect with us on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter. I think there's like Facebook, but I don't think you guys are doing Facebook, so probably don't look at that. But connect with us on social media. We work hard on that information, and I think it's a cool way to see a different side of a university's personality and what they care about.
Excellent, thank you all. So our next question is, what is one thing you want students to remember about your institution?
Okay, same order, Matt? Yes. Okay. Looping back around. Okay. Very good. I think one thing I would want people to remember about Bradley is just, God, there's so many things. I guess I would have to say that it's very hands-on, and it's very hands-on very early. So with programs like game design and engineering and nursing even, our students get involved in those hands-on experiences as freshmen, as sophomores. They don't have to wait till they're seniors or grad students. So if you want to come and do what you're there to do, Bradley is a great place to do that.
For Illinois Wesleyan, I would just say that we are the place to go if you have a broad variety of interests and you want to span across like musical, athletics, academic, philanthropic, whatever it is. We're that kind of place that you can really do all of those things that you're interested in and do them in like a genuine way, not just kind of dabbling, but to the extent that you really want to be involved.
I think the biggest thing that I would want you to take away from Loyola Chicago, or not take away, remember about Loyola Chicago, is the fact that we really instill, or rather we try to instill in students like people for others. And that has been pretty much our focus for anything that we do, regarding whether or not you want to go into business, whether or not you want to go into criminal justice. We definitely look at the current system as is, and we look at how our students can, get their degrees and enter those fields and make them better. That sounds really pie in the sky and aspirational, but that's pretty much what we want our students to do, to go out there and like change things for the better, and particularly for underrepresented populations and just people who don't have anyone advocating for them. So if you want to pursue an education, of course, still aspire to be successful and financially stable, but also try to change the field that you're interested in going to and change the world overall, then definitely consider Loyola Chicago.
I'm going to go a little bit more fun. Definitely with Nebraska, you get that great education, but there's also school spirit. It is really amazing, especially this year, watching football and volleyball come back and how the town, campus, the state kind of bleeds red, and just that school spirit. You'll see the N around and people will always yell, "Go Big Red."
I think with Illinois, you're coming in to a large university. So think big opportunities and big options. We have lots of majors to choose from, lots of ways to personalize those degrees. We have lots of ways to get involved outside of the classroom. It's a big place, big opportunities, and big options for you.
Awesome. So I have one more question before we conclude, and that is, what is one myth you'd like to debunk on the college admission process?
Ooh, okay, I'm so glad I get to go first on this one. I would have to say that one thing with so many of us going test optional, sometimes students, or perhaps it's their parents, because back in the day when we were applying, of course you had a test score, like everybody had to have a test score. But now students are very concerned that applying test optional is somehow deficient, or it's going to hurt them, or they're not going to be considered as highly as someone who submits a test score. And that's absolute myth. If we say we're going to consider you test optional, then we would not be true and justified if we did not do that. So you're going to get full consideration for everything.
I would say I've talked to a handful of students recently that seems, they're like, well, my GPA could have been this, and I have, a B in this class, and just kind of all these kind of general concerns. And I think just that your application doesn't have to be perfect. Like schools can be really competitive, strong academic schools, and understand that you as a human don't have the most perfect application out there. You might have gotten a B, or, that's okay. So be confident in what you have and be yourself. And I think that you'll end up where you want to be.
I think the biggest myth is that the college admissions process has to be this overwhelming and all-consuming experience. Definitely take it seriously, but we're here to take you through that process and make it just easier on you. It doesn't have to be what they portray in like movies, like, oh my gosh, I'm dying, I can't wait, I can't breathe until I hear from my top schools. And yes, it's important. It's the next step for you, but just know that it also can be an enjoyable experience. And certainly with our help, you will enjoy this entire process. Adhere to deadlines. I'm not saying take it for granted or anything, but it's not meant to be this grueling slog from now to May. So definitely use your resources, and it can be fun too.
I'm going to have to say that as you guys, you're applying to lots of schools, and that's great. And we want you to, as you decide not to come to a school, we are not going to be heartbroken if you tell us no. We appreciate it. Like, so we don't have to keep contacting you. We want you to find the place for you. If it's with one of us or somebody else that we know, that is okay. We want to help you through it. But when you've decided, it's okay to tell us. We are not going to, continue, we want to cut ties, and that's okay, and make sure that you're doing what's best for you.
I think a myth that I hear perpetuated, at least from students and parents at the end of our process, is, oh, well, my best friend had this test score and this GPA and they got in and I didn't get in. I think in a holistic review process, especially at highly competitive places, it's important to know that we are not putting two applications side by side and comparing them directly. Your review is very specific to you, and it doesn't serve you to worry about what's on anyone else's application or their review process. If you have questions about your review process, of course, we want to answer those, but just focus on your process and your outcomes specifically, and don't stress about anyone else's.
Excellent. Thank you all so much. So that brings us to the end of this session. I want to say thank you for joining us. Thank you to our presenters for all the great information that you've shared. When you close this window, there will be a link to a quick survey, and we do appreciate your feedback. We encourage you to check the schedule for more sessions that are happening as part of this fair, and you'll be able to find a recording of this session as well as others at strivescan.com/Texas. Thank you all so much, and have a great rest of your day.